It's KP Video News, y'all. It's KP Video News, y'all. It's KP Video News, y'all. It's KP Video News,
KP's Video News, y'all. Yep, KP's Video News, y'all. And wow, I got condolences going out to everyone, man. Got three people we lost that are being laid to rest this week. Aunt Frida over in Phoenix, and my uncle's brother-in-law, and I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, in Chicago, and Ina Hartman, movie star Ina Hartman, which was a friend of the family. Ina Hartman was laid to rest today, being laid to rest as well. So we got two people being laid to rest today. So condolences to all the family and friends, and have strength and be strong. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Let me move on to the next thing that I gotta do here, and it's really a crazy situation where you have 77-year-old black Congressman Al Green, Texas Democrat Al Green, 77-year-old man now, black man, and some lowlife from Tennessee, Diana Harshberger, called the man a boy. 77 years old now, and so it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. So Green generated headlines for interrupting and pointing his cane at Donald Trump to protest cuts to Medicaid during his annual address in Congress in February, which earned him a censure from the House of Representatives. And so Harshberger stated Al Green was over here raising his cane. Gosh dang it, boy. He doesn't need a cane. That cane is a prop. So she claimed that the cane is a prop. So the use of boy is a reference to a black man, is widely regarded as racially coded, depending, of course, on the speaker and the tone of the voice. Courts have ruled as such, and the civil rights group have said, if not a proxy for the N-word, is very, very close cousin. Harshberger's remarks came during an interview with Johnson City, Tennessee Christian group, a Christian group. Now she made this statement, and I'm wondering if one of my colleagues said unscrew the gold part off and see if there. Oh man, she even claimed there's a gun inside the cane. Wow. So a representative for Harshberger did not immediately respond to the request of comment, and Green's office also did not immediately respond to a request for comment. And Harshberger's remarks echo what some of the Republicans have said in days following the Democrats' protest. And Colorado Representative Boebert, you know what that airhead, for instance, said not only does he not need the cane, but she called it a pimp cane. Wow, come on, man. But anyway, that whole thing about Medicaid and Trump wanting to get rid of Medicaid, let me explain the difference between the two. You have Medicare, which everybody's entitled to, and then you have Medicaid, which everybody's entitled to as well. But Medicaid is for poor people that like don't have, that don't have any income, that don't have jobs, so they will still be able to get medical care. So Medicaid that they want to cut is for the poor people. Medicare is for like people that have jobs and they've taken money out of their checks over the years, and they're on Social Security, and they can get, they can get that type of care. But Medicaid is specifically for people that are on the poverty level. So why is it that these so-called billionaires are going after all the things that poor people need? They want to attack food stamps. They want to taking away. They already taken away the free breakfast for kids. No food for kids anymore now. Poor kids can't eat. You don't want them to eat. You don't want poor people to have medical care. What's next, man? So then the DC dunce just signed an executive order basically striking down anything that has to do with civil rights. And that was yesterday. So let me see that. And the officials blasted remarks against Al Green, the Republican Al Green, and so there was a derogatory remark, like I stated. Yep. And the comments which Green has condemned as racist have drawn widespread criticism and ignited a broader conversation about race and respect in American politics. Yep. Yeah. So, this whole thing started when Green, using the cane for support after multiple surgeries, pointed the cane to Trump while shouting, "You have no mandate." Yep. And, that Harshberg is a typical cracker from Tennessee. And when she went on to describe the cane as a trop, like I said. And, and so it's not a joke, Green said in response to the comments. This is not something that people of African American and African ancestry, knowing our history, that we can receive with any degree of notion that it's funny. It's not funny to us. And Green was joined at the recent press conference by civil rights leaders and local officials from Houston, including city council members and organizations like the NAACP and the LULAC. In conference, he called Harshberger to acknowledge her mistake. And he says, "I'm not asking her to apologize. I never ask people to apologize. I ask people to tell the truth. The truth in these slurs is nothing to joke about." And State Representative Ron Reynolds of Texas condemned Harshberger's words, saying, "I'm deeply outraged, but sadly not surprised. For a white Republican congresswoman to go on a so-called Christian podcast and refer to Congressman Green, a 77-year-old civil rights icon, statesman, and man of God, as boy, is not just offensive, it's racist, period." And Reynolds, a mentor and close friend of Green, continued, "This kind of language is rooted in a dark history and a deliberately to attempt to diminish black men, especially those who dare to stand up and speak truth to power." Reynolds also highlighted the danger of Harshberger's rhetoric, pointing out that such language has historically been used to demonize and dehumanize black men. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said before, she even stated that he doesn't need the cane for medical use and it might be hiding a weapon. Yep. Yeah, this is garbage, man. It's disrespectful and it's dangerous, Reynolds said. It's the kind of rhetoric that have had black men have lost their lives over this kind of rhetoric. And Green's protest, during which he disrupted Trump's speech, was in line with his long-standing criticism of Trump, which included filing articles of impeachment against him 3 times during his presidency. Following the incident, Green was removed from the House chamber and censored by the Republican-led House, with 10 Democrats also voting in favor of the resolution. And Green expressed frustration with the ongoing attack, stating, "They already censored me. Now they're going to censor my cane. At some point, this has to be silly to somebody. Got to be stupid to somebody." And with Green's allies are calling for Harshberger to be held accountable for her language. And yep. So Harshberger's controversial comments also drew attention to her personal history. Her husband, Robert Harshberger, was sentenced to 4 years in prison in 2013 for distributing misbranded drugs to kidney dialysis patients, raising questions about her character and values. And as the controversy continues to unfold, he said, we will not let bigotry dress itself up as patriotism. We see you, and we will not let this slide. We're not going to let it slide, man. We are not going to let this, this foolishness slide here. Okay, anyway, they got early voting underway in Houston right now, and the economic uncertainty, the bill could reshape how race is taught in Texas. And early voting is underway, and the May 3rd joint election. So early voting is underway in joint election in Harris County, Texas. Voters will cast ballots in 46 districts with races and propositions tailored to total jurisdictions. Early voting runs from April 22nd to April 29th, and election day is on Saturday, May 3rd. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Harris County will operate 22 early voting centers and 187 locations on election day. Yep. So, and they gotta do what they gotta do, man. And said, don't forget these stupid tariffs that they talking about, stupid tariffs on Canada and Mexico. And Texas is a oil heavy state, so their crude imports isn't hitting Houston area refineries hard yet. But University of Houston energy expert Ed Hears warns that a recession is likely coming, and the tariffs have backed down GDP and a lot of activity. So it looks like we're going to have a recession this year, all due to these ignorant tariffs. These stupid tariffs, man. Yep, these doggone tariffs. Okay, I don't know if you remember this, but Highland Park, Illinois, mass shooter Robert Crimo sentenced to life without parole, and he took the life of 7 people and wounded nearly 50 more at a 4th of July parade in North suburban Chicago in 2022, and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole today. And he's unexpectedly pleaded guilty to 69 counts of taking people's lives and attempted murder. Wow. So he got some type of plea deal, and the plea abruptly ended what would have likely been a lengthy trial. It would have been a lengthy trial, and he probably faced the death penalty. I don't know why they keep giving these guys these deals, but he'll never be able to get out of prison. No possibility of parole. Yep. Wow. It's crazy, man. Crazy, man. I'm telling you, man. This is ridiculous. Man, just goes to a parade, man, on the 4th of July, man, and just with a gun. Crazy white guy. Just crazy. Sick, man. Some sick people out here. Yep. It was chaos, man. All the young kids out there, at the parade, and wow. It's a white on white crime over here. Anyway, a lottery chief in Texas. Texas is off the chain. Resigns. Lottery chief resigns after the biggest theft in the history of Texas. And Ryan Mendo announced his resignation as executive director of the Texas Lottery Commission on Monday after the state-funded body was engulfed in a series of scandals. In 2023, a single buyer purchased $25 million worth of $1 Texas lottery tickets, nearly all of them, in order to secure a $95 million jackpot in what Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick called the biggest theft from the people of Texas in the history of Texas. And it does not comment on personal matters or have additional information, but why it matters. In recent years, the Texas Lottery has become embroiled in a number of scandals and is currently under investigation by the Texas Attorney General's Office and Texas Rangers from the Department of Public Safety. On Monday, in a statement, Robert Rivera said that Mendo had notified the Texas Commission Board of his resignation effective today. Mendo served as executive director for exactly 1 year following the resignation of his long-standing predecessor, Gary Grief. He previously worked as deputy executive director, deputy director, operations director, and assistant counsel for the Texas Lottery Commission. In 2023, a $95 million jackpot was won by a consortium led by London-based trader Bernard Martinelli, which purchased, $25 million worth of tickets. Wow. So they salted the game, man. So now it was a $95 million jackpot. They invested $25 million, so they tripled their money. They tripled their money, man. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But on March 25th, one woman who said she had won $83 million Texas Lotto was told she wouldn't receive any money until the completion of separate investigations led by Attorney General Paxton and the Texas Rangers. It emerged her ticket had been purchased via online courier app, and following the criticism, changed its rule to ban bulk purchases from professional gamblers. And the Texas Lottery, which has launched in 1992 with approval from state legislature, says it has generated over $40 billion for the state government. Around $34 billion they claim has gone to the Foundation School Fund, which supports public education in Texas. Yeah. Why are these crooks always able to resign? I mean, you got politicians that are able to resign after they commit a crime, cops that are able to resign after they commit a crime and do something, a heinous crime against the civilians and the people. People that have money that pull these little scams and stuff and rip people off for a ton of money. They rip people off for $500 million. They only have to pay back $3 million, and then they resign and they get to keep all the money. So this resignation thing for criminals has got to stop. It has got to stop, man. They got to stop allowing these criminals to resign after they perpetrate a crime. Resignation is not enough. And then with politicians and cops, if they resign, even though they go through the motions of what they do, they still end up getting a pension, even though they are guilty of a crime. So this whole resignation for criminals has got to stop. It has got to stop. KP's Video News, y'all. Don't forget to sign in. Don't forget to sign in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all.